Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and Bakersfield City School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Hi, we're live today at the Boys and Girls Club, 5207 Young Street, and we're here to do the math! Woo!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Chuck. And our math tutors are ready to take your calls if you have some questions about homework, you're getting ready for a test, maybe you've got makeup work to do. You can give us a call and ask us any questions about your math at 636-4357. You can call toll-free from outlying areas at 1-866-636-6284. You can email us questions at dothemath@kern.org. You can stream the show live online at dothemathonline.net, and you can look for us on social media. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's YouTube.
And I think
We're
that's
everywhere.
the end of the line right
Yes,
there. But there's
yes.
an awful lot of available ways
Yes.
to contact or view the program at any point. All right, so as Chuck said, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Before we head back out to the Boys and Girls Club, and Marylou looks like she's going to have her hands full again
Yes.
out there at the southwest site for the Boys and Girls Club. Let's first take a look at today's Math in the News. Oh, all right, so we're going to, all right, we're going to go right to the, all right, that's what that was. All right, I heard the no open. I'm like, well, sure, we're going to open right now. All right, so Math in the News. This is a story, well, I found the story because last year we did a little something with this problem with the two freight trains and there was a bee flying between the trains.
I seem to remember that
And we
question.
did this last year, but now I found a story to kind of tie this in. So
Okay.
this is our Math in the News. Texas is the second largest state by population in the United States, trailing only California. But in the late 1800s, this wasn't the case. After the Civil War, Texas was rather sparsely populated. It would not be until 1901, when the first of many significant oil deposits was discovered, that this began to turn the tide. But before 1901, it did have a number of railway lines running through it. So there weren't a lot of people living in Texas, but they had a lot of railway lines going through Texas. There was a guy in charge of making sure that the railroad had enough business to warrant its ongoing operation.
Okay.
So you don't have a lot of people, but you need people to ride the rails in order to keep the thing going. So he, seeking visibility, came up with an idea. Train wrecks, he observed, always seem to attract large crowds. So he decided to create a train wreck of his very own.
Train wreck as entertainment.
Right,
huh?
so we're gonna create a train wreck because when there's a train wreck, people are like, oh, let me go check it out. and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that, right? So he's like, let's make one on purpose. The train wreck was to occur on September 15th, 1896. Almost, we're at the exact date. We're just a week off.
Yeah.
But last week was the opening week. We had to do some other things that week. So a little over about 120 years ago, this happened. Admission to the event was free. So come to the train wreck. You can come and watch for free. And if you live someplace else and you need to take the train in, we're going to give you a reduced rate to take the train to come and watch the train wreck.
Hopefully the train they were taking in was not going to
part
be
of the
into the wreck.
scheme here.
There you go.
40,000 people showed up to view the contrived accident. Two locomotives were placed on opposite ends of a 4-mile track. The crews set them in motion, abandoned the engines, and then, of course, the two trains collided. Now that was how they needed to draw a business. Have people come out and see the 40,000 people
Wow.
decided to go watch the train wreck.
In 1901 or 1896?
1896.
40,000 people?
40,000.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of
back
people.
then. Yeah.
All to gather in one spot to watch this train wreck. So here once again is the problem that we did last year, and we'll see if some students remember this, and if not, you can try and see if you can guess before we reveal the answer.
Okay.
Two trains are 150 miles apart, so this one's a little further apart. We want them getting steam up before they
Build
get
up steam, yeah.
They're heading toward each other. The trains are traveling at 75 miles per hour. Now the next slide, I remember putting in because it's just fascinating to me that somebody would let that amount of bees cover them. Okay?
Oh, so that's a real person
That's
in
a
there?
person.
Or that's a,
That's
I
a
thought
real
it was
person,
a statue.
just
Ooh.
with a bee outfit on. Wow. A suit of bees. But I had to throw that in there because we're going to have a very fast bee flying between the trains. The bee flies at 137.5 miles per hour.
That is one fast bee.
Indeed, well, bees are very important. And there's a lot of things on this earth that would not be occurring if it were not for the
Yes.
wonderful bee. Anyway, the bee flies back and forth 137.5 miles per hour between the two trains. So it starts at one train, 137.5 miles an hour, hits the other train, goes back to the first train, back and forth, all at the same time while the trains are getting closer to each other. Okay? You with me?
Sure. But of course, the first question would be, of course, why the heck would the bee be doing this? But that's another
Because
story.
it's a math problem,
Okay.
and that's what we're going to do. All right? So here, famous sculpture. The question now is, how far did the bee fly before it was crushed by the two trains? So that is the question. So we'll give it just a moment for some students out there. Remember, the two trains are 150 miles apart. The trains are traveling at 75 miles per hour toward each other. There's a bee flying between the trains at 137.5 miles per hour. The question, how far did the bee fly between the two trains before it was crushed? And the answer is 137.5 miles, because it was flying 137.5 miles per hour. It took an hour for the trains to eventually collide. So however fast that bee was flying is how far the bee traveled.
And being the optimist that I am, I think the trains crash, but I think the bee was
Got out of there in time?
fast enough and smart enough to get out between those two trains before it got crushed.
All right. Well, you know what? That is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Don't forget, in San Luis Obispo County, as well as outlying areas of Kern County, that phone number is toll-free at 1-866-636-6284. And also, there are a lot of students that call in and they're like, well, we can't watch the program on cable because we don't have whatever cable service you need. Always, you can go online at dothemathonline.net. That way you can view the program and still get your call in right there,
Right.
be able to watch the program. All of the students that phone in, when we do your math problem on TV, your name is automatically entered into a drawing. And that drawing every single day is for a family 4-pack to go see the Bakersfield Condors. The fair opens tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
You plan on going to the fair?
We might. We went last year.
All right. We usually go every year. And actually, Do the Math will be at the fair on the 29th. Next Tuesday, we'll be out there as part of the Chevron Pavilion right by the main entrance to the fair. So we'll be out there. I believe Marty will be out there. And a couple of other students will help us out with some things that are going to be going on. But anyway, Mike Olcott and the Kern County Fair, nice enough to give us some tickets here at Do the Math. So we'll be giving away fair tickets as well.
Nice.
So not a bad deal right there.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I've got a problem for you to work on right now.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is a little something that students can work along with you, but we'll go ahead and have you work on this right now.
All right.
5 sisters' ages added up to 211. So you have 5 sisters.
5 sisters' ages add
To 211.
211.
The oldest sister was 3 times that of the youngest.
Is 3 times the youngest.
The next to the oldest,
Youngest. Next to oldest?
right, so the next one to the oldest was 2 years younger than the oldest.
Is 2 years younger
Than the oldest.
than the oldest.
The middle sister,
Okay.
the middle sister was twice as old as the youngest.
Is 2 times the youngest again?
Correct.
Youngest.
2 times the youngest.
Okay.
The remaining sister was
Wait
three.
a minute. I've only got 3 up here.
Well, you've got the fourth one is going to be the youngest. The
Oh,
last one.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
The
next-
remaining sister was 3 years older
3 years older
than the youngest.
than the youngest. Wow. Okay.
The question is, what is the age of the oldest sister?
All right. So let me ask you, do we want to do this by like trial and error with the chart, or do we want to set
We'd
up
rather
an
not do it
equation?
by trial and error. It's for an Algebra 1 student,
Okay.
so we'll go ahead and
So we should set
Take
it
it
up
that way.
as an equation, okay? So it looks like most of this is based on the youngest sister. So I can say the oldest is 3 times the youngest, so if I know the youngest, I can find that. And the next oldest is 2 years younger than the oldest, so if I know the oldest, I can find that. And the middle one is 2 times the youngest, so I can find that. And the next, the fourth sister, is 3 years older than the youngest, so I can find that. So I'm going to start with let the youngest sister's age, sister's age, since we're going to do it as an algebra problem, I'm going to call it x. Not this x, this is 3 times. So I'll use that, I'll use x. I guess I could have used y. Let me use y for youngest, how's that? Then there's no confusion, okay? So I'm going to call it y for the youngest sister. Wow, so let's see, what do we have here? I know that the oldest then, let's see if I can put these up here. The oldest then is going to be, can I do this? The oldest is going to be 3 times the youngest. So if the youngest is, can I get colors here? Yellow. No? No, pen. How's that? There we go, red.
You probably just going to have to slide that off to the side. I think
Okay.
you can do that.
Yeah. And I can get rid of this. I think I can get rid of this, can't I? Yes, right? I can get rid of this, right? Yeah. All right, so I know that the youngest is, it'll go away. The youngest is y. That means the oldest is 3 times y. And I know the next oldest is 2 years younger than the oldest, so that's going to be 3y minus 2. So this is going to be 3y minus 2. I'm only doing this because I don't have a whole lot of room down here. The middle one is 2 times the youngest, so that's going to be 2 times y. So here's their ages. And the next one is 3 years older than the youngest, so it's going to equal y plus 3. So it looks like I should be able to write each one of the sisters' ages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sisters' ages, in terms of y, and they're all going to add up to 211.
Correct.
So let's start with the youngest, okay? So the youngest is y. Then I'm going to take the next one, that was the remaining sister, and that's going to be y plus 3. I'll put them in parentheses just to show that they're individual ages. Plus the middle sister, which we said is 2y, plus the next oldest is going to be 3y minus 2, and the oldest is 3y, and let's see if I can get rid of this. Guess not. I know I can. Okay. Nope. Is going to equal, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sisters, and they're going to add up to 211 years. Think I got them all, right?
You are set.
Youngest, the next, the middle, the next oldest, and the oldest. So let's see if we can move this down. Let's see if we can move this down. And what's the question?
How old is the oldest?
Find the oldest. So I'm going to find Y, and then I'm going to go back up and find the oldest, who is 3 times older. So I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. I'll rewrite it instead of erasing it. So the parentheses were just there to show the individual numbers. So I'll just rewrite all of these without the parentheses. I don't have to worry about distributing anything. There's no minus sign, no subtraction of ages here. Just the 3y minus 2 here, plus 3y equals 211. So there's a really good problem, and you notice before I wrote down anything, I decided what my variable was going to be. Y was the youngest, and then I represented each one of the sisters' ages using that same variable before I tried to write down my equation. So I knew exactly what I was going to write down for all 5 ages instead of just trying to remember and guess to do it, right? So that was what all of the stuff before this was. So now let's combine terms. Let's simplify this with my like terms. In this case, they are the y terms. I've got a y, another y, I've got 2y here, I've got 3y here, and I've got another 3y here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more is 7, and 3 more, that's 10y, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 10y. So 10y, now I'm going to do my numbers. I've got a 3 right there, and I've got a minus 2 right there. So 3 minus 2 is 1, so plus 1, equals 211. Well, that's nice, because if I'm going to divide by 10, I don't want that 1 there. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And I'm going to get 10y equals 210. Dividing both sides, right, to get rid of this multiply by 10, I'm going to divide. Divide both sides by 10 to cancel out this 10, right? 10 divided by 10 is 1. And I'm going to get y equals, dividing by 10 is so nice, because if I have a 0 here and a 0 here, dividing by 10, those zeros just cancel out, and I get 21 over 1, which is 21. So y equals 21,
right. But we want the oldest.
That's not my answer, because the answer is the oldest. So I'm going to go all the way back here, and the oldest is not equal to y. The oldest one is
3y.
3y. So it turns out that my answer is 3 times 21, which is 63, is the answer to the question. The oldest sister is 63 years old.
Well, yeah, imagine that. I mean, the oldest sister is 63 years old and the youngest is 21.
Yeah.
So but anyway, we just needed to solve the problem.
Yes.
Right there. Nicely done. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon, as well as most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. Right now, we're going to head out live to the Boys and Girls Club in Southwest Bakersfield. Marylou.
And we are back live at the Boys and Girls Club, 5207 Young Street. And today I have a special guest, and it's Ian. Hi, Ian.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good.
And Ian, what school do you go to?
I go to Ronald Reagan.
You do, and what grade are you in?
5th.
How long have you been at Ronald Reagan?
This is my first year here.
First year. Do you like it?
Yes.
Making a lot of new friends?
That's kind of a sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of the Boys and Girls Club? It's pretty big.
Massive.
Yeah. And then have you made a lot of friends here?
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, we're here to solve a math problem, aren't we? Yeah, unfortunately we are. Okay, let's look at this problem you have today. So, it says a color printer will print 8 pages per minute. How many minutes will it take to print a report that has 136 pages? Now, Ian, how are we going to tackle this? What has your teacher kind of taught you on what is most important to do first?
We always, that's a hard one, but we always have to draw what.
Okay, this is a division house, right? How did you know that you're going to do a division, though? What clued you in the word problem of this division?
It says that it does 8 pages per minute.
Per minute. Okay, that's real important, isn't it? What else clued you in?
It says how many minutes would it take to print
The 136 pages?
Yeah.
Okay. What about these words right here? How many? Is that really important?
Larry.
Yeah, that's really important. So we know that we need to know, it says how many minutes, okay? We have a total of 136, right? So we could kind of think of it as a multiplication. We know that 8 times something is going to equal 136, right?
Yes.
But we need to work backwards. And the opposite of multiplication is?
Division.
Very good. So which number goes in the house?
The 136.
Okay, put that in the house for me. So we know we're really going to divide this, right? And then where does the 8 go?
It goes right here on the
Okay.
outside.
Okay, start dividing that for us and walk us through it. So tell me what you're doing.
8 can't go by 1, so it has to regroup. So this becomes a 1.
A 1,
a
okay.
1. And then
So we're saying multiplication, right? 1 times 8 is? Good. Now what are you going to do next, Ian?
we have to subtract.
Okay, so 13 minus 8.
Regroup.
Ah. And then 8.
8 divided by this number equals 7.
So we know that 7 times 8 is?
56.
Okay.
And then we have to subtract the number we multiply.
There you go. So,
It has no remainder.
and so what is our answer then? How many?
17.
So let's put our 17 here. Now we want to make sure that this is the right answer. Since we divided, how can we double check it?
By multiplying it.
So let's times 8 times 17 over here, Ian. Make sure that that equals the 136 because we want to double check our work, huh? So let's start with 8 times 7 is?
56.
Okay. We're going to carry our 5. Don't forget to carry your 5. And 8 times 1 is?
8.
8 plus 5 is?
13.
There you go. So did we end up with the same answer?
Yes.
We did, and we double checked our work. So again, Ian, remember that division is just the opposite of?
Multiplication.
And multiplication is the opposite of?
Division.
There you go. Good job, kiddo. All right, Mike, back to you in the studios.
Thank you for that, Marylou. A little bit of division out there and
Yeah.
how multiplication and division
Nice.
work with each other. You can check out that problem right there. We'll check in with Marylou and the Boys and Girls Club in just a little while. Right now, we're going to go to the phones. A student from Castle. Christopher, how are you today?
Good.
All right, Christopher, do me a favor. Go to your TV set and turn the volume all the way down.
Okay, got
There
it.
you go. Now it's going to be a little easier to communicate. Christopher, what grade are you in?
5th grade.
All right, as soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
2.6 divided by 2.5.
2.6.
I mean, 6.1. 6.1 divided by 2.5. No. I did it wrong.
Okay, you got it? Which one is it? 6.1?
Yeah, 6.1.
6.1 divided by 2.5?
Yes.
Now I'm going to write 2.5 as a fraction or as a decimal?
Decimal.
A decimal. So I'm going to write 2.5 as 2 point what? What's a
5.
half? Yeah, 2.5, right? So we'll write it as 6.1 divided by 2.5. So we're back to some division. Now we're dividing by decimals, right? So we got to remember that my divisor, the number I'm dividing by, is this 2.5, isn't it? So you got to be careful. I wrote it this way, which is the way you gave it to me. But when I do this problem by hand instead of on a calculator, I got to be careful. It's not 6.1 on the outside and 2.5 on the inside, is it? My divisor goes on the outside, doesn't it?
Yes.
This is what I'm dividing by, so I've got to put the 2.5 out in front and the 6.1 inside. So this is my divisor. The 6.1 is called the dividend, right? That's the thing inside the division box, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, now, we don't like dividing by decimals, do we? So what do we have to do to that 2.5?
Bounce the ball to the wall?
We want to make sure this is a whole number, right?
Yes.
So we're going to make this 2.5 a whole number by moving that decimal point, right?
Yes.
Which means if I move that one place, I'm going to move this one place.
Yes.
So my decimal now is on the outside, and now I've got two whole numbers, right? 25 and 6.1, and I'm just going to put that decimal point right up so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, I know that 25 isn't going to go into 61 evenly, so there's going to be some remainder sometimes. So I'm going to put a 0 there. How many zeros depends on how many I think I'm going to need in the problem, right?
Yes.
So let's divide 25 into 61. I know it's going to go twice because 2 times 25 is 50, right?
Yes.
So that's a pretty easy estimation to make. 2 times 25 is 50, and we get a remainder of 110. Or excuse me, 11, and when I bring down my 0, I get 110. So I'm going to keep working until it's either going to finish or I'm going to round off, right?
Yes.
So let's see, 25 goes into 110. Well, I know 25 goes into 100. How many times?
4.
So I'm going to put a 4 up here, and 4 times 25 we said was 100, right? That's an easy one to do.
Yes.
Now when I subtract, I get 10. I still have a remainder. And since I'm working with a decimal, I'll keep adding zeros. Hopefully, it's going to end sometime. If it doesn't, then we'll stop and round it off. But now I notice that 25 goes into 100. There's
Yes.
our 4
4
again,
times.
isn't it? 4 times 25 is 100, and we get a remainder of 0. So my answer is 6.1 divided by 2.5, since I changed it to a whole number problem, is going to be 2.44. And it makes sense, doesn't it? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I know my answer is somewhere between 2 and 3, and 2.44 should be my answer. Okay, thanks for the call.
Nicely done. Christopher, are you still online with us?
Yes.
All right. Well, Christopher, do you have any idea what's going on in town tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, the Kern County Fair.
The Kern County Fair starts tomorrow, and guess what? You're going, courtesy of our friends out at the Kern County Fair. So we're going to give you a free ticket to go on out to the fair, so we hope you enjoy yourself. All right. Hopefully Christopher has a good time out there. Lots of good food.
Love those pigs.
And who doesn't? Lots of great things going on out there. And I think Mike, who was here a week ago talking to us about the Kern County Fair, some of the new foods that were out there. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there like a potato with mac and cheese?
Yes, and then
Wrapped in bacon and fried or something like that?
the newspaper had a picture of the funnel cake cheeseburger.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's a cheeseburger, and instead of a hamburger bun, it's got 2 funnel cakes.
Healthy for you right there. All right, anyway,
So there's a lot of good
636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll be back with more right after this. Well, today we're on the Central Coast. We're in San Luis Obispo enjoying the beautiful weather. We're at C.L. Smith Elementary School, and today we're here to Well, today we're at C.L. Smith Elementary School in San Luis Obispo, and we have Olivia, a 5th grader, with us today. And how are you today?
Good.
All right, are you ready to do a little math?
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at the problem that's up on the board. Why don't you go ahead and read it for us?
Mark saved $20 in 5 weeks. If he saved an equal amount every week, how much would he save in 8 weeks?
All right, so We have $70 saved in 5 weeks. What do we need to find out?
How much he earns each week so we can figure out how much he earns in 8 weeks.
Okay, so how would you like to go about this problem?
Multiplication.
You want to multiply?
Yeah.
Okay, what would you like to multiply? Because we know we have $70 in 5 weeks. So in 8 weeks, we're going to have a little more than $70, right?
But first we have to figure out how much we have in 2 weeks, so in 3 weeks, so we could add on to that.
Okay. Instead of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, how about if we find 1 week? How would we find out how much we had in 1 week? If you made 70 in 5 weeks, how would we figure out how to find out?
Dividing.
Okay, so what would you like to divide?
70 by
70 divided by 5?
yeah.
All right, so go ahead and work that out. How about we go like this? We'll go 70 divided by 5. All right, because the way you're doing it, you have 70 divided by 5, and it's kind of like you want to do it in your head, right? So how many times would 5 go into 7?
5 goes into 7 once.
Okay, so put the 1 above the 7. You can bring the 5 down. And 7 minus 5.
7 minus 5 equals 2.
Good. Now what do you do?
Bring the 0 down.
Perfect. Now what? So first we went 5 into 70. Now we're going to go 5.
That goes into 24 times.
So we'll put the 4 up there. There you go. Now we'll put the 20 down here. And what's left?
0.
Okay. So 5 goes into 70 how many times?
14.
Okay. So what I did is I just did a little drawing over here. We have our 5 weeks, right? And we know he had $70 at the end of 5 weeks. So in each week, how much will we have?
So in the first week, he has 14, then 28.
Well, what you can do is you can just make each one of them 14 if you want. All right, so we know that every week he's averaging $14 a week. And the question we want to find out again is?
How much he saved in 8 weeks.
Okay, so if we have 5 right here, what could we do to this drawing to get to 8 weeks?
Well, we could add 14 3 times to 70.
You want to add it 3 more times? Okay, so why don't you go ahead and let's draw 3 more up here. 1, 2, 3. Now, do you have enough information to figure out how much he would save in 8 weeks?
Yes, but I have to add up these weeks to 70.
Okay.
He saved $112.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and put the final answer right up here and write it appropriately with the correct symbols. And what we'll do is just put the dollar sign on that side of it. Nicely done. We'll erase that other one. You want to get that? And then what we'll do is on that side, we'll just put a decimal point and 2 zeros for the cents. So go ahead and read the problem one more time and then what our answer is.
Mark saved $70 in 5 weeks. If he saved an equal amount every week, how much would he save in 8 weeks? And he saved $112.
All right, Olivia, nicely done. Perfect job. Not a bad job. Well, as you just saw, we recently spent some time on the Central Coast working with some fantastic students from both C.L. Smith Elementary and Laguna Middle School. We also had an opportunity to meet up with San Luis Obispo County Office of Education Superintendent, Dr. James Brescia. Well, this afternoon we're in San Luis Obispo County. We are with the superintendent of the County Office of Education, Dr. Jim Brescia. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for having us over. We always love coming over to San Luis Obispo County and doing some of the work with the students. In your county, you've got lovely campuses, even nicer weather.
Absolutely.
And we certainly do appreciate having you guys partner up with Kern County as part of Do the Math. I know you guys have a lot of things going on that are new in your Office of Education. What are some of the new programs and things that you guys are tackling this year, or things that you have implemented and are moving forward with?
We have quite a few exciting programs, but first I want to thank you for everything you do in support of mathematics and promoting education through your office. I would say one of our biggest initiatives that I'm most excited about right now is our career technical education. We secured one of the large grants for $6 million to promote career and technical ed across all of our schools, and some of our pathways have quite a bit of involvement with mathematics and moving down into the middle school level up through our high school and preparing our students to move as they complete secondary education.
So they can see some of the opportunities that are awaiting them once they're through with school.
Absolutely, and it's important that students at all grade levels understand how important mathematics is, regardless of the career path you choose, and whether you're headed to university, whether you're headed to technical school, whether you're headed to employment, a solid understanding of mathematics.
Even if you just want to live, you're going to need to know mathematics.
Carpet your house, you need to understand mathematics.
Right. Talking about the professionals and things like that, the professions that students can get into, a lot of times what we like to do is we have professionals on the Do the Math program talking about how they apply math in their profession. And then the students can relate to, yeah, we're kind of doing that right now, and he does that, and that seems pretty interesting, or she works there, wow, I'd like to work there, and that's the kind of math they do. I can do that.
Absolutely.
What are some of the STEM programs that you guys have going on in your county right now?
Well, if you expand that from STEM to STEAM, and I would start with the arts.
Okay.
Looking at art and music and the relationship with mathematics and balance and consistency that is going on in those areas. In our area, in terms of the sciences and technology, we're a big ag, viticulture community. A solid understanding of mathematics in those areas, whether you're working in the field or actually working as a wine grape analyst in the chemist's office.
Integral for students as they're going through school not to miss out on the arts as they go through and see how math is applied to the variety of arts.
Absolutely. We're very fortunate in this county that all of our superintendents and schools understand the importance of the arts and are trying to reintroduce it as we've had some relief from the recession, and we're able to rebuild and retool programs now. Arts is a large focus area in our county.
Okay, you know, I like that STEAM over here in
Absolutely,
San Luis Obispo
STEAM.
County. You know what, before I let you go, we were talking a little bit before we started, and what was that thing about pie?
Oh yes, just remember pie are round, they're not square.
Okay, you know what?
Former math teacher, math jokes, what can you say?
Dr. Jim Brescia, we certainly do appreciate the time, and we look forward to coming over every year.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, all of the students over in San Luis Obispo County, you give us a call on Do the Math, we do your math problem on TV, you will automatically, you don't have to wait for a drawing, you automatically win yourself ice cream at Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab. So it's a sweet little deal right there. You simply call in, you get a little math help, you know that the math is being done right. If you need to check on something or you're doing a homework problem, you're a little bit stuck, simply call in, we'll send you to Doc's and you get yourself a free little ice cream. And they've got a variety of flavors over there that are all delicious.
Rocky Road.
That's your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
I bet you they put a twist on that Rocky Road over there.
It is
and
a
make it little
laboratory.
more-
So I'm
That's
sure
right,
they
an
have a
ice
lot of
cream
different
lab. And you know what? Right now we're going to go back out to the Boys and Girls Club in Southwest Bakersfield. We're going to check in with all the kids and Marylou.
And we are back live at the Boys and Girls Club, 5207 Young Street. And I have another new friend with me, Crystal. Hi, Crystal.
Hi.
How you doing? It's hot today, huh?
Yeah.
And Crystal, what school do you go to?
Stockdale Elementary.
Oh, and what grade are you in?
5th grade.
So you're in the same grade as Ian,
Yes.
but different schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you like best about Stockdale Elementary?
Well, they're really fun, and then they have a lot of activities. They do music, art, and PE.
Do you like music? Is music your favorite? You said
Yeah.
that first.
Yeah.
And who's your teacher there?
Miss Klein.
Do you want to say hi to her real quick?
Hi, Miss Klein.
Okay. Actually, you're working on the same thing as Ian is, and that is?
Division.
Division. So we have this really big division problem. 5,634 divided by 18. All right, Crystal, you ready to tackle this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and write this out. Tell us what you're going to do first.
I'm gonna make a house.
All right. What are we going to put in the house?
Well, first we're gonna do that.
Okay, do you know what this first number is called?
Dividend?
Yes, very good. You know, a lot of my 7th graders don't even know that. Good job. This is the dividend and this is the?
Divisor.
Good job. Let's put the dividend in the house. And then we're going to put the divisor on the outside. There you go. Now where do we start?
Well, we can't put it here because 18 doesn't go into 5. So we have to go with 56. And 18 goes into 56 3 times.
Okay, how did you know that? Did you estimate to get there?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead and start multiplying.
So I usually just put a multiplication right there.
Okay.
So then 4 would go right here. And so then I would put the 2 extra up here. And I would multiply it like that and get 54.
Okay, what do we do next?
I would subtract it, get 2, bring down the 3, and put 3.
Okay.
Then I would divide it, put 18, and I would only put it once, so 18 goes into there.
Okay.
So that would be 5.
All right, yep, do your line. And then what are we going to do next?
Bring down the 4.
Okay.
And then I put this back there. And then I put 18. And just like how I did the first one, I will put 3.
Okay, so 3 times 18 is?
54.
So do we have any remainder on this problem?
No.
No. And you know what, Crystal? You did something different that I've never seen before. You brought that 18 down like it's a new problem every time. And I really like how you did this because this way you're not getting lost, are you? I really like that. You kind of made it 3 separate problems, and that's really cool. You ready to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it right here next to it. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Couldn't get you on that one now, could we? Okay, try this one. Ready? In the house, our dividend, let's make our house. Our dividend is going to be 1,650.
50.
And our divisor is 55.
5.
All right, now let's think. 55 doesn't go into 1, does it?
No.
Does 55 go into 16?
Nope.
No. 55 goes into?
165.
How many times do you think?
I would say 3.
3. You know what? If we used estimation, I could change that to a 50, right?
Yeah.
And I could think 50 goes into
150.
Yeah, 150 3 times. Good job. So let's do our 3 and get started.
So that would be 160.
Oh, you're really good with your multiplication. Okay, keep going.
Wait, whoopsies. Sorry.
Got that right?
Nope.
Nope. That should be a 15, right?
Yep.
There we go.
Oopsies.
And
And then we subtract it. So it'll be 0 with this 0. And so we can't do that anymore.
we can't, but what can, because 55,
So-
well, 0 divided by 55 is?
0.
0. And we have nothing left, do we? Those were way too easy. You did amazing. Thank you. So you said music is your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Do you like to sing or do you like to play an instrument?
I play an instrument. I
Oh,
like to
what
play an
instrument?
Clarinet.
Oh, very cool. Well, thank you very much, Crystal. All right, Mike, back to you in the studio.
All right, Marylou. Now, Marylou, while you're out there, what I'd like you to do is the students that have been doing problems with you live on air, we're going to put their names into the drawing to win the family 4-pack to go see the Bakersfield Condors. So hopefully we'll see what happens. All of those kids will be entered into that drawing as well. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We had a calculus problem sent in to us, and we're not going to be able to solve it on air because you're going to need a calculator and some time to do this.
Yeah.
But if you just want to address this quickly, and then we can move on to the next problem.
It looks really complicated. So this is a problem where they want you to find the find the equation of the tangent line to the curve y equals e to the x using a chart. And so they came up with this chart. And what they do in calculus is that when you have a curve like this, and I don't know if it looks something like this, what you have to do is to find the equation of the tangent line. It's going to be y equals mx plus something, right, plus b. And what you have to do is you have to find the equation of that. You have to find the equation of the line by finding the slope of the line and finding the y-intercept. And so what they've done is to find the slope of the line, it looks to me like they found the derivative of this function, and that's where that e to the x minus e over x minus 1 comes from. So it gets really complicated. And what you have to do is you want it to be when it says find the equation of the tangent line to the curve y equals e to the x, I think when x equals 1.
Correct, yes.
And the problem is when x equals 1, you get 1 minus 1 on the bottom and you get 0. So what they're having them do is using a calculator and putting in different values of x, on one side getting close to 1 from 0, and on the other side, so they started here at 0 and went out close to 1. And then for the other one, they're going to start here at 2 and come back to 1. And so it's calculus, so it's a limit problem. And these two numbers should be close to each other, and that should give you the slope of the line. So, I mean, it's a pretty dicey calculator problem to use e, which is a big, long constant number that you have to put in. So you just have to kind of grind it out. If I did it right, I got about, for x equals 0.999, I got something about negative 2.716922314, which to me looks like it's very close to the value of e. So I'm thinking that the slope of that line might be e. I didn't do the other side, but I'm assuming that this is going to be pretty close to that also.
Okay, well, hopefully for the student that sent that in,
yeah,
they now have a better understanding of what to do, how to approach this problem, and go ahead and work on it from there. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Right now, we're going to go back to the phones. A student from Liberty, Robert, how are you? Hello, Robert.
Hello.
And what grade are you in, Robert?
I'm in 9th grade.
All right. As soon as you're ready, let's hear that problem you're working on.
Okay, the problem I am working on. The problem I'm working on is 23 minus 3, opening parentheses, x minus 9, closing parentheses. The line for the division under 5.
So we're going to divide that whole thing by 5.
Yeah.
So underneath, Don,
underneath.
we'll put a division
the whole
bar.
thing under 5, yeah, the whole thing over 5. Yeah. Is that it?
Is that correct? Robert, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me.
And x equals 3.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is substitute, because we know what 3 is, substitute it right in here, aren't we?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and do that. 23 minus 3 times 3 minus 9 all over 5. So what do you think we need to do first now?
The 3 minus 9.
How about we use distribution and multiply by -3 to everything that's inside of our grouping?
Yes.
So we're going to multiply here and
Yes.
here, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll have 23 minus 9 plus 27 all over 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think we're going to do next here, Robert?
We're gonna subtract them and add them.
Okay. I don't know how you do things. I kind of look at 23 and 27. I add those two together and I get 50.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to have 50 minus 9 over 5. What does that give us now?
That gives us the 41 divided
41 over 5.
by, yes,
Okay. So what is 41 over 5?
that is,
How many times will 5 go into 41?
5 will go into 41.
Was that right? Goes 8 times, doesn't it?
Yes,
What left over? 1?
yes,
And I'm taking my remainder and dividing it by what I have is 5. And I can write better than that. I know I can. By 5. Or I could have just left it there. If you had to graph it, I probably would have graphed it as 41 fifths. I don't know how your teacher is, but I've always been taught, always reduce it to lowest terms.
That help you out, Robert?
yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, as long as you're still
There
on the
you are.
line, let me award you with a Kern County Fair ticket for simply calling in and doing that problem on air today. So congratulations. Hopefully Robert will have some good times out at the fair. You know what? It's hard, I think, to go to the fair and not have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
With all of the activities that are going on, I mean, if you don't like the rides, great. There are plenty of other activities to do. And you're like, well, I don't care anything about the carnival and all that stuff. Well, the displays that they have, the shows.
The shows, the food booths, you know,
Right.
everything, right?
There's just
The
an
rides.
assortment of things to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We had a young lady phone in, a 6th grade student working on simplifying expressions. So we're going to go ahead and do this one right now.
Good. Yeah. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yep, I'm
Here we
ready.
go. So we're going to go 5, open parentheses, 2x minus 3y plus 7
Through and a
plus
parentheses.
7,
Plus 7. Sorry.
close parentheses,
There we are.
minus 4, open parentheses, 3y plus 5x minus 1, close parentheses.
And that is it.
Simplify, please.
Excuse me again. Okay, I'm working this type of problem. I mean, it looks really, really hard, but it's really kind of easy if you just kind of use your properties. And the properties are distributive properties. So we're going to multiply the 5 here, here, and here. To do that, we're going to go 5 times 2x, which is 10x. 5 times negative 3y, negative 15y. 5 times 7 is a positive 35. Okay? We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take this negative 4, multiply here, here, and here. Negative 4 times 3y is negative 12y. Negative 4 times 20, or 5x, is a negative 20x. And negative 4 times negative 1, negative times a negative is always a positive. And 4 times 1 is 4. Oops. I kind of like taking mine and I like underlining like terms. I'll double underline the y's. And I'm not going to underline the digits here, the numbers. I'm going to start with x's. 10x minus 20x is negative 10x. I'm going to go with the y's next. Negative 15y minus 12y. Well, we have a negative 15 and we're subtracting another 12. It's the same thing as adding negative numbers. So I'll end up with a negative, what is that, 27y. 35 plus 4, that's a positive number, 39. And that's as low as we can go.
And what I'd like you to do is let's go ahead and take a look at that problem. Let's go up to the original problem before you started working on it. There are a lot of students, I think, did fine on the first part of simplifying that, but when they went negative 4 times negative 1, they would have left it at negative 4. And that will change everything else in the problem. And there are a lot of students watching, I think, that would have seen, all right, it's 4 times 3y, 4 times 5x, and then 4 times -1, and left it at -4.
Right.
And that's probably where a lot of students may have gotten messed up on that right there. So anyway, that is the correct answer right there. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 right now. We're going to go back out to the Boys and Girls Club in Southwest Bakersfield with Marylou.
And we are back live at the Boys and Girls Club, 5207 Young Street. And as you can see, I made a few more friends today. We're here with, what's your name? Crystal.
Ian.
And Vincent. And they have all helped us out today, welcoming us here at the Boys and Girls Club. And the facility is quite large. For all of your help today, we have a little present for you. Here you go. Crystal gets one. There you go. You got one? There you go. Now, because you've helped us out today, these shirts make you official ambassadors. Do you guys know what that means, an ambassador? Well, it means that you need to wear them to school, right? And you need to show off the do the math and go back to your classrooms and remind all of your friends in your class to call do the math when they need help with their math homework, okay? And the phone number is right there on the shirt, 836-636-MATH, okay? All right, and I have another special friend today, Christina, who today, your title here at the Boys and Girls Club is?
I am the program director.
And what exactly does that entitle?
Basically, I just make sure that all of the programs that we're running for our kids, which are National Boys and Girls Club programs, and we do some really cool local stuff with local companies and businesses, run really efficiently here at the Boys and Girls Club, and I just make sure that kids are having a great time every day.
Now, when we did our opening, we were in another part of the building.
Correct.
Because the building's quite large.
It is.
And you could probably hear them through the walls.
You can.
And there's a lot of kids over there. And it's all broken into sections. Can you kind of tell us why they're all broken up?
We do. Well, right now we always do 45 minutes of homework time in the beginning of the day. So they're broken up into grade levels so that they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing it, and that they need to get homework done before all the fun stuff.
And that's, you know, when we got here, I was noticing there was people helping. There was somebody writing on a whiteboard and helping out. Also, another thing you guys do is the art festival.
Right. Next month on October 17th, that's a Saturday, we will be having Art Fest, and they can find out more information on the website, Boys and Girls Clubs of Kern County, and it's a fundraiser that can help support the kids and the program, so if you can, please do check it out.
And don't forget, we were here today at the Boys and Girls Club at 5207 Young Street, and it's been a great day, and thank you very much, and you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Those guys had a lot of fun out there. Let's find out who's going to win that family 4-pack to go see the Bakersfield Condors.
Well, Crystal, Stockdale Elementary.
So, Crystal from Stockdale Elementary, one of the young girls on the program with Marylou. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and Bakersfield City School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.